Alright guys, this is my last league starter for you, and that will be the Deadeye Ice Spear. Okay, this Ice Spear is basically a self-cast Ice Spear. It is very decent. It has very good clear also because it has chain. Okay, so when it hits a target, it will just chain out and branch out to the next monster beside it. So it has really very good clear. Alright, it will go in a T shape or something like that, somewhere around there. Okay, I don't know how to explain, but yes, it does that. Before I begin, I just want to apologize. I do not have any video for this because I kind of like have sold all my items previously and I don't have anything, and I didn't capture a video about it. So this is just a guide and the things that you should know. If you want to play the boss DLC, you need to play the Deadeye Ice Spear first. I mean, I will recommend this build because it kind of like is on a similar route or course. Okay, so it's much better. And in terms of bossing damage for this, this build doesn't lose out either. Okay, when you see the POB, you might actually be shocked because the damage is so goddamn high that it might look a bit ridiculous and it's not very promising. Okay, but I've played it before and I can tell you the single target is just insane. Okay, it cannot even match any of my other league starter. It just obliterate all the bosses very quickly. Alright, so okay, before I start, this is the POB. I have updated it in my Google Excel spreadsheet. So you can take the paste bin from here. Then again, there is no link, there is no buy list because this is a league start build. You are not supposed to buy anything. Alright, just grab any of the rare items, review them as long as there's a life. Doesn't have to be a very high tier life, just life and resist, and then you just benchcraft the other one and just get along with your journey. Okay, don't have to buy anything. That's the whole point of a league start. Alright, okay, so this is the POB. You can see it is very spread out all the way to the top. Okay, this is the level 80 skill tree. It is slightly different for the skill tree this round, so pay attention quite closely. Alright, also I have the level 90 for those of you that is still doing the chaos recipe after level 80 onwards, or you want to play this build a little bit more. Okay, and then we have the respect skill tree once you have completed Act 10 and before Act 10. Alright, level 67. And the important one will be level 44 right after Act 5. Okay, so I am just going to go through this first because we do not have access to Ice Spear. Okay, unless you have a witch friend, then you can probably ask him or her to buy for you, and then it will be slightly different. Then you probably just straight away use the level 44 skill tree and just scale your way upwards. Okay, but otherwise if you do not have, then I will recommend you to just use Caustic Arrow and Toxic Rain all the way until Act 3. When you reach the quest Fixture of Fate, you will go to the library, you'll complete the quest, and then you are able to access all the skill gems. Okay, so yes, please do take note that this is the skill tree for Toxic Rain. Alright, this is after Act 1. And then it will be like this. Okay, it is a bit weird. Okay, I understand it is a bit weird. Why is it this way? The reason, right, is I just want to scale this. Okay, so two of this, basically your aspect of the eagle, bow damage and critical strike chance. Yeah, we basically just want the damage over time with both skills. Okay, and then there is entropy, so total of 6 nodes that has increased damage over time. Why only 6? Because when you reach Act 3, you have 3 respect points of 6 points. Okay, so that is where when you actually get the Ice Spear, you can just swap out all of this. Alright, swap out all of this and then respect into the level 44 skill tree. Alright, it is really that simple. I do not want to go more, and I feel that it is not needed because Toxic Rain is just so strong at the start. You don't really actually need any other points to scale Toxic Rain. Alright, it just works on its own. It's really extremely good, and the damage is there. Basically, just chaos damage is very, very strong at the start. Right, there's almost nothing that can compare with chaos damage for the start. Alright, because the monster's resistance are usually very low against chaos damage. Okay, so yes, I will leave the rest of the POB for you to actually just go and view it yourself. And in the skills, right, our 6-link Ice Spear is going to be Ice Spear, Power Charge on Critical. Okay, I think this is something that you don't really see very often, but I have done a lot of testing and I realized that with the Power Charge on Critical, we basically have immediate source of generating Power Charge, because I do not want to rely on this. This is not really reliable. 8% chance to gain a Power Charge on Q might not be extremely good. Alright, so I put in the Power Charge on Critical, and then you have Inspiration and Greater Multiple Projectiles. This 4 is kind of like your core skill gems that you should have when you have a Falling. And then once you have a Tabula Rasa, equip the Increased Critical Damage and Increased Critical Strikes. Okay, Tabula Rasa should be the first purchase after you have done your Chaos Recipe immediately. And then for the aura, we're going to use Clarity, Hatred, Determination, and Defiance banner. Okay, so we don't really have a really super high regen. You can increase this as much as you want. Okay, you can increase this until level 15. I think it is still okay. Alright, it is still acceptable, because the more regeneration you have, the more it's going to upkeep you from spamming your Ice Spear. Alright, so just take note of this in mind. Next will be our... Oh wait, why is this below? Alright, my bad. So it's our Hex Touch debuff, okay? So this is actually the Hex Touch debuff. You're going to use the Hydro Spear Hex Touch with Frostbite Elemental Weakness. I think it's nonetheless to say this combination is really good, because it not only exposes the monster to whichever cold or lightning resistance for Hydro Spear, it also curses the monster. So very tanky rare monsters, you should be able to clear it very quickly once you cast your Hydro Spear. Right? Some of you might ask me, why do you not use Frost Bomb? Okay, I might receive the questions like from my previous League Start video. The answer is very simple. I don't think the 5% additional is worth, because Frost Bomb only lasts for a while, and the radius or the AoE is so small that sometimes it cannot cover enough of the AoE to hit all the other mobs. So sometimes you might encounter maybe a bunch of blue mobs, and then the Frost Bomb is not enough to hit all of them. Okay, plus when you cast Hydrosphere on the boss and you hit with the Hydrosphere, it basically does additional damage to it. Okay, so that is why I felt that Hydrosphere is a much better option over here. Okay, next will be our 2-link CWT, cast when damage taken level 1 with Molten Shell at level 10. Because we are using Determination, it is going to give us a lot more sustainability. Movement skill, Frost Blink or Flame Dash, up to you. And then just equip it with a level 1 Arcane Surge for our Arcane Surge buff. And the last one is just the Lightning Golem, alright? Have the Summon Lightning Golem, this is probably the best option. If you do not want, you can take Summon Flame Golem or Summon Ice Golem, it is okay as well. Only use the Summon Golem when you are fighting campaign bosses or when you are fighting map bosses, alright? In maps, it is probably going to die very fast, so don't bother summoning it, you don't really need it as well. Okay, on to the items. For the items, oops, sorry, where is my wand? I have forgotten to benchcraft this. Okay, so yes, for the wand, right, is the same as all my other spell builds. Just get any wand with spell damage, and then have increased spell damage as well. Okay, why is it level 44? My bad. Gotta change this. Oh, we have a lot more mana. Alright. Yes, okay, so back to this topic. So just get any wand that has spell damage and then throw in an essence of way with the increased spell damage, and then just benchcraft any of the damage modifiers that can affect your build. So crit chance, spell crit chance, multiplier, cast speed, or even cold damage is also fine. Alright, just anything will do. So you do not need to follow my cast speed. And then the rest of the rare items, your shield, helmet, gloves, boots, so on and so forth, you just need to fulfill 3 aspects of the build. One is basically your life, alright. Second is your resistance, and third is basically attribute. Okay, so always remember, as a league starter, always fulfill these 3 attributes in your rare equipments. Okay, you don't need to have 3 to 4 lines of them, just 2 of them is enough, and then you just benchcraft the remaining one. You can cap your resistance and have a very decent amount of attributes to play around with all your skill gems. Alright, it is really that simple. Right, body armor, just tabula rasa. Like I mentioned, this is the first thing you should purchase. For the flask, we're going to go with Quicksilver Flask with movement speed, Granite Flask for armor, Diamond Flask for critical strike chance, Silver Flask for the onslaught and with the reduced effect of curses on you, and then the last one will be just Life Flask with immunity to bleeding or corrupted blood. Okay, any Life Flask, it doesn't have to be eternal. You want to use divine, also can. Next will be, we have one jewel socket here, and I am going to put in the Conqueror's Efficiency. Okay, some of you might actually ask, we already have so much mana, do we really need Conqueror's Efficiency? The answer is, I've actually tested it before, and somehow when you actually spam the Ice Spear too fast, you actually might run out of mana. Okay, when your cast speed is really very fast, sometimes you might run out of mana, and we don't want to have this problem, so I'm just going to put in the Conqueror's Efficiency. Okay, you can get this from one of the quests in Act, I can't remember, 7 or 8, or I might even be wrong. I only know it's just in one of the quests, so select your reward carefully, and then just put this in as long as you have the jewel socket. Alright, for the nodes, everything else is also still the same. I have the 3 links or sockets to look up from Act 1 onwards. It's actually very simple because from here you are going to use Toxic Rain, so everything is just green. Okay, unless you are going to use Ice Spear, which I did not include in this video because I am thinking from the perspective of someone that is going to solo play, so I did not have that. But I think this is actually quite simple. If you have a friend that is playing a witch and you get Ice Spear early on, just play whatever you have. Okay, so Ice Spear, lesser multiple projectiles, and maybe added cold damage. Yeah, that's good enough. That's really good enough. Okay, and then we have the 4 links of socket to look out from Act 3 onwards. Okay, so this is the color that you should look out for. And yes, like I mentioned here, we don't have access to Ice Spear, so you'll use Toxic Rain all the way until Act 3, and it is strong enough to bring you all the way until you get Ice Spear. Alright, so of course, please remember, guys, use the bow first and change the wand afterwards. Don't use a wand and then ask me like why you cannot use Toxic Rain. Alright, I do not know how to answer that because Toxic Rain is a bow skill. Okay, and the rest of them, just follow this if you really want to know what skill gems you should take. I have written it here. This is just specifically for Ice Spear. Alright, and yep, this is the low budget variant. So just one final thing I just want to mention, look at the DPS. It's really quite ridiculous, okay, for a league starter build with nothing. Okay, nothing. But of course, yeah, because this is a level 20 skill gem, even if I want to reduce it, you can see the damage is insane. Okay, I'm just going to put this, okay, maybe at 16. Okay, maybe I put 16. Look at the DPS, it's really nuts. Okay, 782 DPS. Maybe this is not exactly accurate, but you can see you can use this as a benchmark or a reference that you will already know this build has very high single target damage. Okay, in the configurations, I technically did not change anything other than add power charge. We have about 5 gale force, and then we already have tailwind, so taking this does not really matter. And then of course your enemy will be chilled or frozen. I think it really doesn't matter as well. So yes, this is the base damage. 782 for League Starter is really very high. Okay, I'm pretty sure you won't have problems with very tanky rare monsters with annoying Arch Nemesis modifiers, or even map bosses that are very tanky as well. Okay, so yep, enjoy your Deadeye Ice Spear. Okay, that comes to the end of this video. So if you have any questions, do join the Discord and I will try to answer your questions. And if you like my video, do remember to hit the like and subscribe button. I will see you in the next one. Bye.